Thank you, guys.
All right, folks, I will go ahead and call our council meeting to order. It is 7:02 PM. If we can start with a moment of silence, please. And if we can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you'll take roll call, please.
Reed. Stewart.
Here.
Shaw.
Here.
Davis.
Here.
Ryan.
Here.
And Mayor Snyder.
Here. So we do need to add a couple of items to our agenda. On our tabletop, there is an MOU with the land bank that we need to add. And then we have also been asked to have comments from our consulting firm to be added. And Jim, if it's good with you, we can just add it under the presentation part, okay? So if there's any other additions, questions, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So we will start our evening with a proclamation recognizing April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month and Child Abuse Prevention Month. We have representatives here. If we wanted to come forward. Welcome. Hello. If you guys want to just give us your names and the roles that you play in this.
I'm Ann Flynn. I'm a representative from Calhoun Intermediate School District and Early Childhood Connections, as well as an advisory board member for sexual assault services.
And I'm Tamara DuPoit-Goodlock. I'm the staff system manager for sexual assault services. And this is Chewy. He's our facility dog.
Well, thank you for being here. So I will go ahead and read the proclamation recognizing April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month and Child Abuse Prevention Month. Whereas Bronson Sexual Assault Services provides essential trauma-informed services to survivors of sexual violence and child abuse in Calhoun, Kalamazoo, and Van Buren counties. And whereas our agency offers advocacy and support for survivors and those impacted by sexual assault or abuse, raises awareness about sexual violence, and engages the community in efforts to hold offenders accountable and work toward a future free of sexual violence. And whereas our comprehensive services include counseling and therapy, victim advocacy and support services, emergency shelter, hoteling, public awareness and systems change efforts, child advocacy center services, sexual assault nurse examiner services, and prevention education. And whereas in 2024, we provided free services to 1,234 survivors and delivered prevention education to 3,169 youth, pre-K through high school. In collaboration with Safe Place Prevention Program under the Youth Violence Prevention Programs, SAS and Safe Place have provided prevention education to 7,074 youth. And whereas SAS volunteer victim advocates who provide 24/7 crisis response at local hospitals and police departments, contributed a total of 4,904 hours of on-call crisis victim advocacy. And whereas every April, individuals and organizations across the U.S. participate in Sexual Assault Awareness Month and Child Abuse Prevention Month to raise awareness and educate communities about prevention. In recognition of this critical effort, we respectfully request a city proclamation declaring April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month and Child Abuse Prevention Month. And whereas additionally, on April 10th, 2025, we will host our annual Sexual Assault Service Benefit Dinner and community event at DoubleTree. This is our primary fundraising event held in collaboration with Bronson Health Foundation. The event features a keynote speaker and honors our dedicated volunteer victim advocates. We also recognize community partners, including law enforcement, child protection workers, prosecutors, educators, and other professionals who go above and beyond to support and protect survivors. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Victoria Garcia Snyder, Mayor of the City of Albion, along with the members of the Albion City Council, do hereby proclaim as April 2025 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month and Child Abuse Prevention Month in the City of Albion. Thank you both for doing what you do
Thank you very
to
much.
protect and provide services to those affected.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Next, I would like to call up Nate and Audra Fuentes to give us some information about this year's extravaganza.
I didn't prepare anything, and apparently Nate didn't either.
Who drew the shortest straw?
Yeah.
Just give us the highlights.
Yeah.
So the extravaganza is April 19th, so Saturday before Easter at noon, hopefully at Victory Park. And it's the sixth time sixth year we've done it. We didn't obviously do it the COVID year because everything was shut down, but we have, been gathering toys for kids to make Easter baskets, stuffing eggs with candy. So I think we're up to 10, 11, 12,000 at this point, eggs. And it's been a little rougher this year. Economy's bad or what, but yeah, we're just working on that, getting everything organized, and we got our group of people that help bring the event to the city. So everybody's all hands on deck, getting us ready. Later Easter's helped out with more time to prepare. So last year it was a whole month earlier.
Hopefully nicer weather too.
Exactly.
Yeah, last year it rained.
It worked out, but.
Mhm. So, and I guess I can also kind of speak because I've been at these events, and to see the joy on the little kids' faces when they're actually able to go out and pick up the colored eggs and then come inside and know that they're going to get a gift of some sort. Nate and Audra do this. This is kind of like what we say, it's a homegrown type of event. They don't get money from the city. They are just kind of fundraising on their own. They get donations, they get volunteers to help pull this off for our community, not only our community, because we get kids and families that come from all over. I mean, I've seen a family from Lansing. I'm sure there's probably those that come further, but they have like some connection or a tie to Albion, but they hear about this and they want to come because it is a free event. And kids see all the prizes on social media and they just get so excited. So it has grown, and I think we're kind of in competition for being the biggest
We're working on it. We're
Easter
trying
egg hunt.
to add more every year, so that's our goal.
Yeah, so that's why, they ask for donations. So if it's monetary, they go out and purchase the stuff, but if people provide, like, I still have my stuff in my basement that I need to get you guys, but people can contact them, you know, schedule a drop off, toys,
Yeah.
candies, baskets, because I know you guys want baskets for all the kids, so whatever people can give, you know, it's just a wonderful event for our little kids.
We've had donations all the way from Las Vegas. So, you know, people leave Albion, but they don't ever leave Albion. So, you know, it's always home.
Right.
Councilman Reeves?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. And thank you for the kind words. I know they really appreciate it. Our apologies on not having you guys up here a lot sooner. The work that you've been doing with the Easter egg hunt annually, it has been astonishing to me. I don't have kids, but I went out there last year and I was like, where did all these people come from? Like a Saturday morning in the spring where, you know, it's looking like rain and the park is just full of people. I definitely want to applaud you all on what you've done thus far and what you continue to do going forward. But could you let them know how people can donate and help to support the Easter egg hunt this year? So they know.
Yeah, like the mayor said, we take donations. You can, like, we have a Facebook page, Albion Extravaganza. We're still waiting. Is our charity
It's a little,
approved?
it's, I mean, you can find it and,
We're a little confused if our charities are approved or not. The government's been a little bit slower approving it, yeah, so. But we have a Facebook page, you can send us a message, our phone numbers are available. We have Venmo and PayPal, we do not have Cash App. Most people in Albion know where we live. We live across the street from a celebrity, so everybody knows. So, people can drop off, you know, I know Mr. Pierce back here, he made a drop off of a bunch of eggs for us, so. We're available, like I said, if you don't know us, our Albion Extravaganza page, you can just send a message, it'll be one of us too that responds, so.
Awesome. Well, thank you for all that you do. And we'll make sure to push it out on our social media so that others can be aware of how to be able to donate.
Yeah, yeah, thank you, yeah, and toys have gone up and candy has gone up.
Yeah.
The egg thing was awesome the first year, but now it's like, oh my God, we spent thousands of dollars just on candy, so. It's,
Chocolate crisis coming.
yeah, yeah.
We hear you. Awesome. Well, thank you both for being here.
Thank you, guys.
All right, James, if you want to come on up.
You short, so you had your interview with Mr. Davis. He is he'll be sought after, one of the job market is right now. We have a lot of openings coming up across the state of Michigan in the next month. Several new cities will be posting as well, so if that's a candidate you'd like to move on, I would encourage you guys to deliberate and make a decision one way or the other with him, so I can give him some notice. I do want to give him some type of guidance on when they'll be discussing, when you'll be taking this up, when they'll be discussing it, so he can make plans accordingly as well. So is there a plan when you intend to?
We have not made a plan to meet again, but we can definitely try to call a special meeting to talk about this specific topic.
Excellent. Yeah, so any questions for me?
Would a week be adequate?
Yeah, I think that's fine. Much past a week, I think he'll be interviewing other places. I think there's several, that's the issue right now with the talent pool. In fact, several of the candidates in another city just pulled out. They had listed their finalists and they already pulled out. Now I have to go back to the drawing board and select more candidates. The talent pools, when I tell you the talent pool is severely short, it's true. What he mentioned about the interest rate is the number one challenge I'm facing right now is right now, if a city manager's at a job for 3 to 5 years and they have some experience, put yourself 3 to 5 years ago, not only was interest costs lower, but housing costs were lower. Homes are up about 20–30% in the last 5 years. So if you're a manager right now, even if you don't like your current job, you really can't afford to leave your house for a lateral move. And so it used to be you could offer a $15,000 to $20,000 raise and somebody would make a career jump for $15,000 or $20,000. That's a decent raise and worthy of moving for. Well, the problem is when you factor in housing costs, $15,000 to $20,000, it ain't gonna cut So people aren't moving for their jobs. And so you geographically are trying to pull from a talent pool within a geographic radius now, which is what we're seeing in almost every search we've done this year, including last year. So it's a real challenge. But I was impressed with Mr. Davis. I called his references. He's got a very genuine guy. I think you guys can pick up on that. He's not a politician, he's an administrator, which is kind of what you want. All right.
We'll keep you posted.
Thank you. It's all the same to you. I'm gonna hop and sit away, get my kids to bed.
Good luck.
Understand.
Thank you.
Thank you, James.
So 3 and 7. No sleep.
Public comment. Is there anybody in the gallery that would like to stand and address council in regards to an agenda item?
Good evening, council. I am Billy Beers, the president of the Greater Albion Chamber of Commerce and Visitors Bureau located at 403 South Superior Street. I come here today to say thank you to council and to the city and the city staff and the team for the partnerships, collaborations, and conversations when it comes to Festival of the Forks, which is a community event that's overseen by the Greater Albion Chamber of Commerce. On the agenda, I see that the mobile food vending permit and waiving that per festival on September 19th and 20th for 2025 is on there, which we greatly appreciate. It's very important to us to have the collaboration and the partnership with this city. We would not be able to pull off Festival of the Forks without you. As we are the voice for and of businesses, and our vendors definitely are businesses, so this does make a difference. And so I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comments in regards to an agenda item? All right, seeing no movement. Do I have a motion to approve of the consent calendar items?
So moved.
Support. Right, in your packet, you have the March 17th study session minutes, regular session minutes, and the assembly permit for the Albion Extravaganza on April 19th. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? All right. Do I have a motion to approve of the second reading of ordinance 2025-03?
So moved. Support.
Attorney Harkness?
So this was an ordinance we discussed at the last meeting. It modifies the existing obsolete, the sale of obsolete property ordinance that exists with the city. So basically what this does now is that if there's unusable or obsolete property that has a value of less than $5,000, the city manager is authorized to sell it without a public auction, or he can use it as like a trade-in or an exchange for new supplies or materials. If the value of the absolute property is in excess of $5,000, it can, the city manager has to sell that by public auction. However, the city manager can set a minimum bid for that auction so that we don't run into a scenario where we're getting minuscule bids for property that has actual value. The city manager can also seek authorization from the council to use that property in excess of $5,000 as a trade-in for new supplies and materials. So it just modifies the existing ordinance that's currently in place, and it raises the threshold of value property because realistically, the city doesn't have much obsolete property that's below $2,500. So this gives the city manager a little bit more discretion, raises the threshold and removes the loopholes that people were using to take advantage of to buy obsolete property from the city. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Attorney Harkness? Any questions, Mingo?
Councilmember Williams,
Yes.
Reed. Yes. Stewart.
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
and Mayor Snyder.
Yes. Motion to approve resolution 2025-05 for the National Public Safety Telecommunications.
So moved.
Support. City Manager here.
Yes, Madam Mayor and members of council, in your agenda packet this evening is resolution 25-05. What this resolution does is it recognizes our 911 operators basically to not to discount any of the verbiage, but I just want to go on and say, therefore be it resolved that the Calhoun County Consolidated Dispatch Authority and Governing Board declares the week of April 13th through the 19th to be National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city and our citizens safe. This is a special kind of person that sits on the phone when people are in a panic mode and they call 911. We owe our lives and our safety to those workers, and we ask that council adopt this resolution as presented.
Any questions for city manager? City Clerk Domingo?
Councilmember Reed,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
and Mayor Snyder.
Yes. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2025-06, waiving the mobile food vending permit requirement for the Festival of the Forts?
So moved.
Or,
Attorney Harkness? Or,
yeah, I mean, that's fine. Glad I came to them.
yeah,
So are we.
Yeah. So the city received a request for the waiver of the mobile food vending ordinance requirements for Festival of the Forts from the Chamber of Commerce. As council is aware, council recently modified that ordinance to allow for a waiver of the traditional requirements, basically so that mobile food vendors weren't getting double tapped in terms of like application fees and things like that. So this waives all of the requirements except for the insurance requirement. Anybody participating in Festival of Forks as a mobile food vendor still has to maintain liability insurance with the city named as an additional insured, and that verification of that has to be provided to the city in advance of the event. And then we also are to be provided with a list of the vendors participating in the event prior by September 12th, so that whether it's code enforcement or Chief Phipps's department, if they need to verify any of the vendors' insurance on at the event, they'll know who's participating and who isn't. So this waives the requirements just for September 19th and 20th of 2024. Happy to answer any questions.
any questions for Attorney Harkness?
As I read this, so what happens next year? Will you revise this in terms of 2026? So each year it will be revised.
If they seek another waiver, yes, it would be another request for another waiver.
If they.
If the chamber seeks a waiver for next year, that would be another request with another resolution and another required approval from council.
Okay.
So this is just for those 2 dates in 2025.
Any other questions? City Clerk Domingo?
Councilmember Stewart,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
and Mayor Snyder.
Yes. I have a motion to approve resolution 2025-07 to waive the vending permit for the art under the Albion Tower.
So moved.
Support.
Attorney Harkness?
So this is basically the exact same thing, except this is a request for the Albion Arts Commission for a waiver for the mobile food vending permits for June 27th to 28th, 2025. Again, the Arts Commission needs to provide us with a list of who's going to be participating by June 20th, and then verification of the insurance for all the participants by June 20th. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? City Clerk Domingo?
Councilmember Ross,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Reed, Stewart,
Yes.
and Mayor Snyder.
Yes. Do I have a motion to approve of the MOU between the County Land Bank and the City of Albion?
So moved.
Support. City Manager Terry?
Madam Mayor and members of council, what I had put in front of you that was not in your agenda packet this evening was a proposed memorandum of understanding. This is between the City of Albion, Battle Creek, and the Calhoun County Land Bank Authority. What this is we have contaminated properties that are owned and operated, maintained by the land bank in our city as well as in Battle Creek. There is an understanding and rules that they have to follow in maintaining those properties and regarding that contaminated and those contaminated sites. So with the help of our attorney, this memorandum of understanding was put together so that we can operate under EPA rules and regulations, and they also have to abide by those. So what we have put in front of you is a memorandum of understanding which governs the way that these properties are tested and maintained. The administration endorses the adoption of this, and we welcome any questions or comments you might have for us.
Any questions for our city manager? Alderman Stewart?
Manager, do I read correctly, or should I read into this that the fiduciary responsibility lies then with the land bank authority?
If they own the property, yes. Okay.
Any other questions? City Clerk Domingo?
Councilmember Davis,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Frost,
Yes.
and Mayor Snyder.
Yes. Future agenda items. Anything council would like to see on an upcoming agenda? All right,
Aside from us setting a special meeting for next week.
And maybe we can follow up with complaints that we saw to at least acknowledge. concern.
public comments. If there's anybody in the gallery that would like to stand and address council, you may do so at this time. Just give us your name, address, and 3 minutes is yours.
Thank you. I'm Frank Bassett, 900 South Newton Street. This past week, there were some gates put up in the middle of Riverside Cemetery when you come in. And I understand there was a posting on Facebook that this was for security and RVs and stuff that were going through there and whatever. So that would leave the main entrance and then the far south by the gas pumps, you know, where the gas company has their pumping station. I have been using the middle section all the time for years. If I want to go to the Veterans Memorial, there it is. There's the road. It's paved. I can get there. If I want to get back to the Catholic section, it's that middle road I've been using all the time. That'll mean I'll have to use the either the main entrance or the south entrance, use all those roads, and a lot of other people will. I don't know if that's going to increase the road or wreck the road and everything, but what I'm saying is that last south section is not paved. If you're going to close off the paved ones, I would ask that the council consider asphalt paving that last section, because when it rains, that especially that last road on the boundary is muddy, and we don't want to have to do that all the time. If you're going to close it off, those middle sections, I'd rather have you close the south section off because that's the furthest away from security. Well, I'm sure they have cameras now, but that's the furthest away. Why don't you keep the middle one open and close the south one? But if you're gonna have that south one open, it's the only one for that side of the cemetery where most of the people are buried in this century, where most of the people go. You don't see people in the older section because they're all dead and the families are gone and moved away 100 years ago. But it's that newer section. You want to get to if you're Catholic, you want to be able to go to the Catholic section. If you're a veteran, you want to go to the Veterans Memorial, and that's not available now with those things there. If you're going to have that, then please pave that south entrance, because that's where we're going to have to go to get to that section, unless you want to go to the office and go all the way, zigzag your way around and messing the roads up and turning and everything else. Anyway, I'm just mentioning that as a logistical thing. And I understand there's problems, or what some cemeteries do, they'll keep it open during the daytime and at night they'll put the locks on. You know, that may be another solution, but I understand. And of course, you can always go around and drive on the grass, but you're gonna have cameras. The cemetery used to have a fence all the way around it. And I've got pictures of it. I just sent it to Mr. Kearns on that. And we used to have a sign that said, when these archway signs at the beginning of I've got a picture of that too. But for a while, and there was a gate on the front main entrance for many years. We're talking about 100 years ago now. But I'm just mentioning this, so please consider the ramifications of what has been done there to the cemetery. One, people can't get back to where they need to quickly. Two, it's gonna be muddy over there on the south side if you're gonna have that, the entrance. Why not close that one up and have the middle one, open instead? But I'm just mentioning that, so thank you so much for hearing me.
Would anybody else like to stand and address council? All right, seeing no movement, city manager's report.
Yes, Madam Mayor, members of council, we have several things coming up. One is construction. I wanted to just touch base with you again. I heard a very good suggestion tonight. We'll work with our engineers about putting the road closures and detours on our city website, where we could do it GIS. And to take it a step further, maybe we'll have the engineers give a weekly report as to the progress that the contractors are making. This way our citizens will have access and follow that. I think that's a great idea. At the next meeting, and this is something I've discussed with you in the past, is water meters. At the next meeting, the administration is prepared to bring documents forward for your review. I don't want to go into detail tonight, but there has been quite a scientific and financial undertaking looking at the science of metering waters in our community. We think that this is an important issue council needs to be aware of, and one that needs a solution. So the administration will be bringing that forward at our April 21st meeting. Other than that, it has been very busy. It's springtime. Of course, we had damage. I think most of the storm damage occurred near the college area. That seems to be where the most trees were down. We had some trees down in the cemetery, some damage there. And, we're supposed to be Tree City. And we've lost quite a few trees, older trees that were just beautiful. Again, it gives reason, when we have power outages, some of those power lines go right through those trees. Same thing with the internet, telephone, cable. So we ask and we thank our citizens for being very patient. It took us a while, and we're still cleaning up, and we still will be cleaning up probably for the next few weeks. But other than that, things have been running very well. I know that staffing is always a concern in the different departments. We're working on that. The department heads are working on that. So we feel confident in their abilities of trying to recruit competent staff. It's like this everywhere. So we're competing with other communities. And so our hope is with the salary adjustments you made, we can be very competitive. That's about it on my end. I welcome any questions or comments that you might have. One other thing is that the planning commission will probably be meeting this week at a special meeting to finally finalize the lot splitting where the new water tower is going to go off of Michigan Avenue. So we look forward to concluding that whole dilemma. So do you have anything you want to add to that? Or?
I can't wait for it to be done. It's been a long, long road.
Mayor Protem first.
How many openings do we have in the staff? We lost somebody recently, or was it the same number we looked around?
Because of transferring the staff, there's one more addition in the area of public safety. Because Deputy Director Kern is moving as a police officer into Public Works. That also leaves a new opening. Aaron is doing his best to, in fact, he has interviews set up this week. I think it's this week. Get to fill in those vacancies.
So we have 2 conditional offers out already. And then once Jason's done, there'll be 2 more spots that are open. So Right now, I have 4 spots reserved in KCC's Academy.
Oh, okay.
In August, so.
Fantastic. You can do some road patrol, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have that, and of course, Recreation Committee is meeting tomorrow night, a special meeting. Believe it or not, we had another meeting today concerning recreation. That meeting went very well. We met with the superintendent of public schools in Marshall and Albion. We met with the YMCA director, and we met with different community activists that also are involved in recreation. That meeting went very well. We plan on refining that again a little bit tomorrow as well. So hopefully, we're gonna have a successful recreation for both adults and children this summer. That's our goal. So that's all I have.
Any questions for city manager? All right, council member comments. Councilman Williams.
Yeah, just want to thank the rest of council for the support on both the chambers ask about the Festival of the Forks. That was a big issue. They kind of beat us up a little bit last year, so I'm glad we were able to take care of that. And also the Art Under the Tower. This is its 2nd year. The Arts Commission have been doing a fantastic job in trying to organize that event and get it off the ground. We have Juanita here today, and you know, she's everywhere, but just to support that event, it helps to relieve some of the expense for some of the vendors, and helps also just to support that committee and what they're doing over there. So thank you.
I'd just like to suggest from a council perspective and leaders from the city that we try to project a real positive attitude on all the road construction. So there's obviously a lot going on, and there's, it does cause people to have to adapt. And I personally have been running late a number of times already and had to take the detour, but I'm trying to keep a positive attitude. And I was just wanted to say tonight that all of us ought to be modeling positive attitudes about this, because this is something that's been a long time coming, and we ought to try to project that out.
So I was gonna make a comment about the road construction and the detours. We know it's an inconvenience, but what we want to ask is for, like Councilman Stewart said, like, portray positivity, especially on social media when people are just so quick to jump to negativity. This is progress for the city of Albion. Roads are being fixed along with our water infrastructure, which, you know, that is a huge investment. So we want to make sure we're doing things right. So it's going to take some time. As well with the bridges. I know the bridges probably are the bigger frustration for folks. Know that who we're contracting with, they are working on this in stages. So it can't be done all at once. It has to be done over a period of time. So I think the bridges is probably the bigger frustration that I've been hearing about. But no, it's only for a limited time. It's gonna be fixed and they're gonna be safe. Because I know from personal experience of having to travel to work where there is a bridge closed, has been closed for over a year, that detour takes me out of my way. So it's best that we have safe bridges that are not going to be closed, that are going to stay open for years to come. But it's just going to be a minor inconvenience for us for right now. But if there's anybody that you know that's being truly inconvenienced, whether it's their driveway being blocked, they can't get to, because we know we have a lot of elderly citizens that need medical attention, that need oxygen, that need services. So if you know of anybody, just make sure that they're aware they can contact the city, and we will do everything possible to make sure that they're still gonna get the services that they need. So that's just one thing we wanna make sure, that nobody needs to be truly inconvenienced, because we know we have a lot of folks that can't get out and that are homebound. Councilman Fitz.
Yes, I just would like to announce and get the council's collaboration and cooperation. We're having a 5th precinct meeting that is going to be on Thursday, the 17th. And I received my card in the mail today, so I think all of the cards are out now. And it's initially Fifth Precinct meeting, but it's actually a community collaboration because we're asking officers and leadership for council as well as for the city to come to give updates, to be there for questions and concerns and things like that. I have an agenda that includes a representative from the transportation board. Other than myself, I've asked Mallory Avis to come, who is the director of transportation for Calhoun County. At this time, she's presently director in terms of Battle Creek Transit, but that is going to be Calhoun County Transit Authority. And we're asking other people to talk about medical care, the lead program, update from the city manager and things like that. So it's really a community collaboration to just get the word out, even the roads. If we have an update on the roads and as well as maps or whatever we have on the 17th, we're going to hand them out to just share as much information as we can get. And it's open to the whole community.
Thank you, Mayor. I've got just a few things. Number one, I need to reiterate a lot of kind of what we've been saying is a lot of great strides have been made in our community so far. We're working well together, I think, as a city council. Importantly, we're making progress on promises regarding infrastructure, which is great. Our Public Works Department is doing a fantastic job. They're very responsive through the storm, and they've just been doing a great job. Just wonderful. If I were to voice any concern, anything that I think we should take a look at, I think we need to start looking at the EDC. I think we need to make sure that the board is fully staffed. We need to look into getting a new director. I don't know what the plans are on that, but they need one. Albion's going places, and the EDC is a huge part of how we're making that happen. And I think that we need to really take a critical view of how the EDC is going to continue in its role in helping to develop our community. And I know that they have a lot of autonomy in the way that they operate, and necessarily so, but I do think that in the end, all of us have to answer to the taxpaying community, and we need to be responsible with that. So I'd like to at least be thinking about that as members of the council.
Any other, yeah.
Just to follow up on that, should we reach out and seek a report essentially of what's going on as far as a director, that sort of thing?
Well, I can report that there is a subcommittee of the EDC that is kind of handling the search. They are not going to utilize a search firm just because of the expense of it all. They are going to do it internally. And so they have a posting, they're going to get it out. I don't know if they've actually put it out on any type of site yet, but I think they're at their final steps of getting that posted, but it's going to be done internally.
Yeah, and just to follow up, both the mayor and I serve on the EDC board, so we're happy to provide input where we're able. I will say that Bruce Nelson has been doing a phenomenal job as interim. He is actively seeking to step down as soon as possible. So I know that that's at the forefront, and they're continuing to operate as best as they can. There's been some action that we've approved of that will become public at the appropriate time, but yeah, I think they're doing an admirable job. We've had quorums the last two meetings, so I think I think there's one position left open on the board, I think.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm encouraged by their efforts.
Yeah.
So maybe we could have you all give us updates proactively from a communication standpoint, so, because does feel like a void right now.
Yeah. Well, I know that Bruce is working very closely with our city manager. I know that there has been quite a few messes that have had to get cleaned up, and I think that's taken a good majority of his time and effort, along with kind of getting these contracts and agreements moving forward. So, yeah, but he's doing a phenomenal job, and he's willing to stay on until we can find somebody who can handle it. All right. Any other comments? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned, 7:47 PM.